We got one big step closer to Donald Trump's tax returns today, and one big step closer to exposing how Donald Trump has been conducting his private businesses for profit while president of the United States. A federal judge ruled against President Trump's attempt to dismiss a lawsuit brought against the president under the emoluments clause of the Constitution. Today, the judge ruled that the plaintiffs, quote, convincingly argued that the term emolument means any profit, gain, or advantage Trump could receive from his businesses. As the Washington Post points out, this ruling appeared to mark the first time a federal judge had interpreted those constitutional provisions and applied their restrictions to a sitting president. Joining our discussion now, David Cay Johnston, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist who founded DCReport.org. He is the author of It's Even Worse Than You Think, What the Trump Administration is Doing to America. And David Cay, your book is about actual governing policies that the Trump administration has been conducting. But every day, Donald Trump has been conducting the business of the Trump companies and the Trump organization. And this lawsuit seems to be the vehicle that has a chance of exposing more of that than even possibly the Mueller investigation.
Well, it certainly does, because this lawsuit was very well crafted, and they got the judge to go back and see how dictionaries defined emolument. The Justice Department wants us to think emolument means paying a bribe. Well, bribe is already in the Constitution. We don't need it. It's redundant to do so. And at the end of his 52 pages, Judge Massett, whose mother didn't raise any fools, goes through the Trump Hotel deal and points out that Donald Trump changed who was at the Government Services Agency, the people who run the lease for the Trump Hotel. And then they gave this opinion that said that he could run the place even though the contract says no elected official of the government may be involved in that deal. I think that's going to turn out to be very important when the Justice Department appeals this case and tries to stop this case again.
Because in these kinds of cases, the Justice Department functions as the president's lawyer in a lawsuit like
Correct.
this, right?
They're defending the office.
They're defending the office, yeah. One of the normal targets of discovery in this case would be the president's tax returns, including corporate tax returns, to try to find out through those tax returns exactly how much money, how much profits, just the size of the emoluments.
Correct. And I would expect that the Crew people are going to move very quickly to start discovery. They're going to want to look at the books and records behind Donald's tax returns and his filings with the District of Columbia and with the federal government. And Donald has a long, well-documented history of hiding records, of claiming they were destroyed or aren't available, and of signing letters authorizing what I would politely call unorthodox accounting methods, as in, all for me, nothing for you.
And David, what do you see as the possible timetable of this lawsuit?
Well, it depends on how quickly the Justice Department moves to appeal, which I assume they're going to do. And they've got, don't remember the court rule, I think they've got either 30 or 60 days to do this. But Crew is going to push to act as quickly as they possibly can. The Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, the people who brought this case and who crafted their complaint very smartly.
They have Professor Lawrence Tribe and other great legal authorities working on their side. And so this case, through the appeals process, could end up going to a United States Supreme Court where Donald Trump might, by that time, have had 2 justices appointed.
Yes, more likely to go first to the Court of Appeals, but there could be a direct appeal. I don't think this is over, and I don't think Crew's going to get access right away, but they're going to push right away for this. But I think people who want to really understand policy, get the judge's decision off the internet and read pages 48 and 49. They are very compelling. You don't need to be a lawyer to understand those 2 pages. They deal with the post office lease. And remember, we have 2 emoluments clauses. One applies to all federal officials about foreign gifts. Then there's also the domestic clause, and that's the one I think is going to cause Trump more trouble.
And we can expect questions in Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing about this case.
Yeah, if we get any answers, I'll be surprised.
Right, but this is an obvious case for Democrats, especially to be looking at and saying, what about emoluments?
Yes, and I expect they will press very hard, and Kavanaugh, I'm sure, in the farce that we call judicial hearings, is going to be ready to avoid answering anything.
David Cay Johnston, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.